Are you looking for the best cheap digital cameras? In this video we will look at some of the best cheap digital cameras on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Canon EOS R50 camera. If you prefer to buy new, the Canon EOS R50 is one of the best budget models you can get. Though it isn't the cheapest option, it offers a ton of value at a very reasonable price for a modern mirrorless model. With a high-resolution APS-C sensor that can capture excellent images and a portable body, you'll want to take this camera everywhere you go. It also has a fully articulated screen and records 4K video with a decent amount of frame rate options, making it a solid choice for vloggers and video shooters. Though its intelligent auto mode takes a lot of the guesswork out of photography for beginners, the camera also uses the same RF lens mount as Canon's latest high-end cameras, so you can eventually upgrade to a more advanced body without buying into a whole new system. If you aren't bothered about having more lens options or eventually upgrading to a full-frame body, the Canon EOS M50 Mark II is a similar camera that'll save you a bit more money. This is especially true if you find a used model. Just be aware that Canon has stopped developing new lenses for the M mount, and the camera has notably worse 4K video capabilities. For a more portable option with built-in stabilization, don't count out the Olympus OMD EM10 Mark IV, although its autofocus isn't nearly as reliable as the Canon's. Number 2. Canon EOS Rebel SL3 camera. The Canon EOS Rebel SL3 is another of the best budget cameras. It's one of the most portable and lightweight DSLRs Canon has ever produced. And while it isn't as portable as mirrorless offerings like the Canon EOS R50, it's still very easy to take on the go. Aside from their ever lower prices, the biggest advantage of getting a DSLR is the wide range of lens options on offer, not to mention significantly longer battery life. The SL3 features a high-resolution APS-C sensor, which can capture great image quality for its class. While its autofocus system isn't as effective as the R50's, it's still fairly reliable and does a good job with slower or more static subjects. This is also one of the few DSLRs to offer 4K video capability. Despite some limitations, it works fine for more casual use. All of that, plus the usual intuitive controls and user interface that Canon is known for, makes this an appealing budget DSLR. Number 3. Canon EOS Rebel T7 camera. If you want something even more affordable than the pics above, the Canon EOS Rebel T7, EOS 2000D is the best cheap camera we've tested. This DSLR doesn't have as many bells and whistles as the Canon EOS R50, so there's no 4K video capability or flip-out screen, but the camera has a high-resolution APS-C sensor that can capture great photos. Like the Canon EOS Rebel SL3, it's compatible with any of Canon's f and FS lenses, so you'll have plenty of options to choose from, including more affordable lenses if you ever want to upgrade from the kit lens. It's a DSLR, so it has a longer battery life and a more established lineup of lenses. However, its autofocus system is more basic than the found on modern mirrorless cameras. Because of that, and its very slow burst rate, it isn't the best option for sports or fast-moving subjects. Still, this is the best cheap camera for photography if you want a simple interchangeable lens DSLR. Number 4. Canon EOS R100 camera. If you're set on mirrorless, the Canon EOS R100 is the cheapest mirrorless camera that Canon offers and is essentially the mirrorless equivalent of the Canon EOS Rebel T7, EOS 2000D above. Because it's newer and mirrorless, it has a better autofocus system and a more portable design akin to the Canon EOS R50. However, unlike its pricier stablemate, this model doesn't have an articulating touchscreen, and its 4K video features are very limited. Although RF lenses are still relatively few and far between, the kit lens will be enough to get you started. Also, because this model has the same lens mount as Canon's high-end mirrorless cameras, going with an R100 or the R50 can be a good long-term investment since you can eventually upgrade bodies without needing to replace your lenses. Overall, despite its pared-down design, This is a good entryway into mirrorless cameras for those on a very tight budget. Number 5. Nikon D3500 camera. If you've never used a camera, the Nikon D3500 is the best cheap camera for photography beginners. This budget DSLR stands out because of its unique guide mode, which walks you through the basics of photography so you can learn as you go, making it an ideal camera for those just getting started in photography. It's a very pared-down DSLR, similar to the Canon EOS Rebel T7, EOS 2000D. However, it still has a high-resolution APS-C sensor that punches above its class. Beyond that, it's also relatively small and lightweight for a DSLR. It offers spectacular battery life, meaning you can shoot to your heart's content without worrying about running out of juice in the middle of the day. There's also a wide array of compatible lenses that you can upgrade to as your skills improve. The manufacturer has discontinued the D3500, so you might have to settle for a used model.